Are you
I'm dating somebody, but
Oh.
I'm very flattered.
I have a boyfriend.
Oh, you do? This may just work out after all.
But I have a boyfriend.
Sorry, I have a boyfriend.
Frustrating, right? In this video, I'm gonna go over the top 8 reasons why women reject men and how you can fix these mistakes if you're making them. So in this video, we're only gonna focus on the things that you can change, right, in your approach. There's a whole list of things, dumb, stupid reasons why girls will reject guys that are completely out of their control. And hey, if you guys want to see a video where I go over that, right, you know, the top 5 dumbest reasons why women will reject men, let me know in the comments below. Number 1 is your vibe and your energy. When you go up and approach a girl, how you're carrying yourself is so important because women will reflect that, right? If you walk up to a girl kind of hesitant, you know, not really sure if you should be talking to her, kind of looking around, she's going to reflect that same awkward vibe. But if you carry yourself in a way where it's, hey, how are you? What'd you get? Right? You're speaking to her as if you've already spoken to her before, and you have a cool, calm, confident vibe where you're not taking yourself too seriously, right? You're not stiff and talking to her like a Terminator T-101000. Let's go! Come on! She's going to reflect the vibe and the energy that you bring to the interaction, right? So if you approach her with a positive, confident vibe where you're carrying yourself, where you just don't give a shit, right? You know, when you're speaking to her as if you've already spoken before, she's going to return that same energy. Number 2 is if you come off as inauthentic or fake, okay? This is the guy that'll go up to a girl and they'll use like a pickup line they found online. If you are going to use a pickup line or a pocketed line, there's a difference between saying it like, excuse me, hi, I wanted to come up and say hi and introduce myself, versus, excuse me, hi, I know it's random, but I just wanted to come up and introduce myself. I thought you were cute. If you're trying to prove yourself and be somebody you're not, she'll see right through that. So it's actually more beneficial to be your authentic self. Be the best version of yourself. And a lot of times, guys, and I know for me, I was a lot, you know, I was very in my own head, right? When I'd go up and approach a girl, I'd be thinking, oh, how do I look? You know, like, how does my shirt look? Am I standing right? Is my, like, all these thoughts that are going on in your mind, you have to try over time to eliminate them, right? Because if you're too in your own head, you're going to come off as inauthentic and weird, right? Because when you're speaking to a girl and you're thinking all these thoughts, it's impossible to stay present. So a girl will perceive that as you being inauthentic and fake, right? So instead of thinking me, oh, how do I look, all this, think more you, okay? What can I comment on? What can I say about the girl that's in front of me? Number 3 is you're just coming off as creepy. And I'm sorry to say it, guys, but being creepy really just means not being socially calibrated. A lot of guys are just not socially calibrated. They're not social, especially in 2023, right? I had a guy come up to me the other day, and I was working, you know, I was doing my job, and he comes up and he's, you know, his intent was good, right? He had a great, like, he goes, are you currently hiring? Right? And the way he said it, he was like avoiding eye contact. He was kind of slumped over, right? I could tell it was a huge jump for him to actually do that, right? To actually be putting himself out there. But I could tell this guy's got a lot of work to do when it comes to having social skills. Eye contact is the king. You have to learn how to hold eye contact with people when you speak to them, right? So just practice that. Practice going up and speaking to strangers, holding eye contact as you walk by people, right? Smiling, waving, because the conversation starts before you even open your mouth, right? If you walk up to a girl like this, hey, how are you? Versus, hi, right? It just takes practice. But as you're going about your day, practice this confident body language. Practice making eye contact, smiling. It's going to make it that much easier when you do go up to a girl, right? And by going up and having conversations with strangers, you're working on your social skills. You have to adapt your approach accordingly. If you see 2 girls carrying on a conversation at a library, for instance, and you walk up and say, hey, nice to meet you, right? You're cutting off their conversation, especially if they look like they're deep in conversation, right? So you might want to say, sorry to interrupt, but deliver your line, because that's showing that you're being socially calibrated, right? You're observing social situations. Number 4 is you look homeless. I'm sorry, guys, but okay, maybe that was a little rude. Maybe that was a little, exaggeratory, if that's even a word. But a lot of guys put zero effort into their appearance. I see guys walking around all the time, and I'll see a guy and I'll think, wow, that guy's got potential. If only, he lost 15 pounds, if he lost the baby fat, the pudge around his face. It's crazy how much better guys can go from a 5 to a 7.5 just by losing 15 pounds and then bringing out their jawline as a result of that, right? Because if you have a little pudge, it's not that appealing towards a girl. But if you got a jawline that could cut butter, that just comes from cleaning up your diet and losing weight, right? Go out and get a fresh haircut, grow out some stubble or grow a beard, right? Most guys look better with facial hair. And throw on some clothes that you feel confident. That right there is going to improve your look, how you feel. Look good, feel good, as they say. That's going to exude that confidence. So just put a little more effort into your appearance. Watch guys like Alex Costa on YouTube. He gives great style advice, great outfit advice, to where you don't have to go and break the bank. Now, if you guys are getting value from this, make sure to hit the big red juicy subscribe button. I still have 2 more reasons why guys get rejected, and these are probably the most common reasons that I see and I've experienced myself. Number 5 is just being overall boring and generic, right? Like, this used to happen to me all the time. I'd go up and approach a girl, I'd see that she's interested. She had those anime eyes.
Yeah, I know. It's so true.
Right? And then as the conversation would go on, I'd see her get a little more disinterested, maybe go and glance at her phone. And it sucked because I never really realized why, right? I'd be able to get her number, but then she'd ghost me. She'd take forever to respond, right? And it was because I was just having overall boring conversations, right? I'd be talking about the weather. I'd be talking about, her job. I'd be playing it safe. Right, guys, there's ways to make conversations more flirty just by changing how you ask a question. Instead of saying, what do you do for work? You could say, do you like your job? Right? And if she says, yeah, I really love it, she's then bringing out those positive emotions, right? Because it's important when you're talking to a girl to have more emotionally driven conversations. The point is, you want her to bring out those emotions when she's talking to you, right? Women are very emotional. They're driven by their emotions. So if you can get her to experience positive emotions when she's with you, rather than talking about boring, generic conversations like Johnny Average and Joe Blow do, then guys, you're sitting pretty. Number 6 is me versus you, okay? A lot of times when guys are speaking to girls, they're thinking too much about themselves, right? How do I qualify myself to this girl? How do I stand out to this girl? How do I, make myself look that much better to this girl? When in all reality, it's coming off as try hard. It's coming off as too pushy, right? It's coming off as, oh God, just another guy like this, right? When in all reality, make the conversation more about her. Observe her, what she's doing, how she's carrying herself. Ask her more questions to get her to open up about herself. About herself, right? Remain mysterious. Women don't want to make it seem like they're too easy, right? They don't want to have that buyer's remorse. And again, women are very influenced by their emotions, how they feel in the moment. So if she's feeling titillated by the conversation in the moment when the stud, has gone up and approached her, she's feeling happy, she's feeling flirty, and then she goes home and thinks, this guy doesn't really know anything about me. He never bothered to ask me anything about myself. I don't really know anything about him. Maybe I gave up the number too soon, right? You don't want to have her leave that interaction with any potential negative thoughts, right? You want to increase your chances to get her to respond without being flaky or without her being, taking forever to respond, right? You want to make sure that you do the work in person so you don't have to do more work by text. So if you can, continue the conversation in person for as long as you can, and then get the number and bounce, right? But you don't want to overstay your welcome. Number 8 is you paid the friend or the group that she was with very little attention, right? The thing is you can go up and talk to a girl. She could have a 10 out of 10 interest level in you. But the problem is, if you don't engage the friend group, if you don't engage the girls that she's with at all or very little, they could have an effect on the girl's decision on you. They're very influenced by what others say, what they do, especially people close to them, right? Their close friend group. Look at when girls go to the bathroom together when they're at the club, right? They have to go have a little powwow, a little meeting in the bathroom. Oh, should I go home with this guy? This guy, he seems, this and that, right? They need a cosigner. They need some kind of advice, right? It's very hard for a woman to make decisions by herself when there's, the friends. So it's in your best interest to win the group over, right? To actually build rapport with the friends, with the other girls in that group. Now, when I first got into pickup, this was extremely hard for me. I didn't know how to go up and, speak to a girl with a friend or, speak to a girl that's in a group. But luckily for you guys, I've made it as easy for you to understand in this video right here. This is how you can effortlessly and confidently go up and approach a girl in a group or with a friend.